Welcome back. I'm Beverly Thompson. This next story is for all those parents who worry about the amount of time their children spend on their phones. A recent study found that up to 6 hours of screen time a day is perfectly normal, as long as teens are doing fine at school and getting enough exercise. For more, we're joined by the lead author of this study, Chris Ferguson. He's also with the Department of Psychology at Stetson University in Florida. Good to have you on the program. Hello.
Hi, how are you doing? It's always a pleasure to be on.
Well, this is fascinating because for so long we've been hearing, screen time, it's terrible. It's responsible for all kinds of mental health issues. It's responsible for all kinds of physical issues. Let me ask about the teens involved in this study and how much time you were looking at.
Yeah, that's a great question. So this is a study of about 6,000 teenagers in the state of Florida. So it's a large, comprehensive study that the state of Florida themselves did. And what we were kind of curious about was looking at the degree to which screen time in these youth was associated with a variety of different behavioral outcomes, ranging from aggressiveness to disordered eating to depression to reduced grades and a variety of other things. And I think historically what we've been hearing a lot is from particularly the American Academy of Pediatrics was this idea that like 2 hours a day of screen time was kind of this desired maximum. But there really hasn't been a lot of data to say that 2 hours is a magic number. And we know that teenagers oftentimes watch really quite a bit more screen time. So as much as 5, 6, maybe more hours a day is actually quite normative. So in the study, what we're looking at is the degree to which different hours of screen time were associated with behavioral problems. And what the study really showed is that up to 5 or 6 hours a day of screen time is really quite normal, which probably is not a big surprise for a lot of people, that a lot of teens are watching 5 to 6 hours of screens per day. But that also was not associated with behavioral problems. So there was no evidence that watching television shows, using the computer, using the cell phone, 5 to 6 hours a day was associated with aggression, depression, reduced grades, or other types of behavioral problems with kids.
And did the study look, because we're talking about maybe 4 to 6 hours and that didn't, say that they had any of these harmful effects, but what about extreme screen time, whatever that marker is?
Yeah, that marker seemed to be right about the 6 hour mark. So we have the highest category of kids, which is about 16% of kids watch 6 hours or more screens per day. For those kids, that level of what we would call excessive screen use was associated in a small way with a few negative behavioral outcomes, but not others. So kids who are watching 6 or more hours of screens a day, that was associated with higher delinquency, higher depression, and lower grades, but not more disordered eating, not riskier sexual behaviors, not substance abuse, and not risky driving. So 3 out of 7 outcomes were associated with excessive screen use, and only in a very, very tiny correlation. So the correlations are there, but they are very small, and it's hard to know that if parents are going to focus in on 1 or 2 or 3 different things in terms of trying to manage their kids' well-being, it's not really clear that screen time is necessarily going to be where parents are going to get the most bang for their buck, as the saying goes.
Yeah, so it would almost suggest that maybe, in some cases parents need to relax potentially a little bit, but then also be very aware of the behaviors ongoing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the issue, of course, is the American Academy of Pediatrics have themselves said, and now they actually got rid of their 2 hour maximum guidelines just in the last year or so. So they themselves have, kind of accepted this idea that 2 hours is really not a magic number. But what they basically say is that parents just really need to make sure their kids are balancing their screen time with enough sleep per night, making sure they're getting their academics needs met, and making sure they're exercising. So as long as screens are not interfering with these other types of behaviors, then there really is no magic number that we have to worry about screens, teens hitting in terms of screen use. I think with a lot of parents, they kind of think about things like video games as being kind of like a waste of time, and that it being a waste of time or it not being a waste of time doesn't seem to be a factor that actually determines kids' well-being or mental health or behavioral outcomes.
Interesting study. Chris Ferguson, lead author. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me on today.